I'm leaving on a jet plane, don't know when I'll be back again.
So a game of planes, trains and automobiles for FTX. I'm going to bring you up to speed with what happened over this past weekend. We've also got updates here from the likes of Huobi Exchange, Gate.io, Crypto.com, all potentially in trouble here as CZ is almost summoning more bank runs. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. BTC at around 16.5k, ETH around 1,200 bucks. The picture has been the same for around the last 24 to 48 hours here. So Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX now see hundreds of millions of dollars drained from FTX exchange during Saturday night. So this one is a very, very strange and dubious one for a number of reasons. First and foremost, we hear things around Sam and team getting a private jet from the Bahamas down to Argentina. This turns out to be false. And then just hours later, we hear of a huge hack from FTX with funds moving out of the exchange to addresses unbeknownst to many of the insiders. So a lot of coverage from some big Twitter personalities here, keeping us up to date with what is happening. Fubar here, do you know how much was moved? White hat versus black hat, i.e. a black hat is someone who's stealing the funds, and white hat being those individuals who could find out what the exploit was and just try and siphon funds away to be given back to creditors at a later date. So think of them as good hackers. There was a lot of speculation that this was liquidators moving assets around. However, we've also now got wind that this was not the case. These addresses were unknown, and this has led to speculation that this would be an inside job from potentially Sam himself or some of the close members of the team, think Caroline, etc. Zach XBT concludes, multiple former FTX employees have confirmed they do not recognize these transfers, totaling 383 mil. There was also stories breaking that Sam had some form of backdoor system where he could extract funds without anyone actually knowing about it. So when we think about it logically, an exchange that managed to operate for many years without any incident, as soon as they go into bankruptcy and the team is seemingly on the run, they magically get hacked for near $400 million. Some funds being withdrawn were staked ETH, which were then swapped to just normal ETH with huge slippage incurred. And as Fubar states here, this is not the likely act of a liquidator. So in my opinion, this seems like the captain is going down with the ship here, and they're trying to extract as much value as they can from FTX to plan some form of escape. We'll see how far this goes. Some of the siphoned funds went to Kraken Exchange. Kraken have actually worked with law enforcement here to put a freeze on some of these addresses to ensure that the funds don't go elsewhere. These accounts belong to the bankrupt firm of FTX, Alameda, and their execs. So this almost implicitly shows us that this was an inside job for this hack. The man who seemingly knows it all, Mr. Ben Armstrong, aka BitBoy Crypto. FTX and Alameda had a failsafe in case authorities were ever onto them. The hack last night was an internal system meant to delete data and evidence. Then we had Elon hopping into a Twitter Spaces yesterday and talking about Sam Bankman-Fried's potential investment into Twitter, and this is what he had to say. It's accurate that SBF did want to invest in Twitter. Elon got on the phone with him after being told, you know, this guy's super smart, has more money than God himself. But he said he set off my BS detectors straight away, which is why I did not think he actually had 3 billion liquid. So the billionaire energy of Elon Musk stating here that SBF, in his opinion, did not have money and was a bit of a bumbling character. A really crazy Spaces went on yesterday, lasted for over 30 hours. It was hosted by this guy, Mario Narfal. Give him a follow, and the Spaces are recorded as well, by the way. But through the Spaces, we had all the recent updates coming through. All the news was being monitored, and people with inside knowledge were stepping up to the plate and whistleblowing on things that had happened. So with the plane incident not actually occurring, so we had clarification that the FTX team were not on the plane chartered from Bahamas down to Argentina, but SBF has been seen with authorities in the Bahamas at the Albany Tower, which is where he lives. His father is also seen with him, neatly escorted by the Bahamas security forces. This has now been verified by 2 sources. They have now left the premises. So if they were planning their escape, it seems that that is now over. So now as a side story, we also have bank runs ensuing. We have the likes of CZ potentially triggering more here. He tweeted this just earlier. If an exchange has to move large amounts of crypto before or after they demonstrate their wallet addresses, it's a clear sign of problems. Stay away and stay safe. So he's saying that, some of these transparency reports, the proof of reserves, are being fudged and we should be very careful and pretty much, withdraw your funds from these other exchanges. So this can potentially set off another chain of events where we do see bank runs on these other exchanges and they have to halt withdrawals. So if you do have funds on a centralized exchange of any sort right now, get your funds off to your own personal wallet, have self-custody ASAP. So the story behind this one is that Huobi and Gate.io are under fire for allegedly sharing snapshots using loaned funds between each other. So this from Wu blockchain. After Huobi released the asset snapshot of their asset reserve, 10,000 ETH was transferred from this address, Huobi34, to Binance and OKX deposit wallets. The Huobi34, which had 14,000 ETH at the time of the snapshot, now only has 4,000 Ethereum. This potentially could be misinformation. Sam Czi's son, who is shit hot on the blockchain, covers a majority of breaking news stories and tries to demystify things. He says this: in the specific instance, the funds from OXCA, that Huobi34 wallet, mostly came from OX187, another Huobi address. Given that both addresses were in the snapshot, it's unlikely the funds were used to inflate the proof of reserves. Huobi Exchange, now owned by Justin Sun, a man with very, very deep pockets. It would be unusual for him to have to fake these kind of figures, but with what we're seeing here, the potential for fractional reserve banking to be happening on the blockchain, it would not be a surprise either. But this again shows that you do have to dig a little bit deeper. I do think this guy maybe is spot on here. There is likely no smoke without fire, but being at this point now with people on a knife edge, everyone's got the jitters in the market, it doesn't take a lot for people to start stampeding to exchanges and withdrawing funds off the back of any rumors. So Gate.io and Huobi implicated here. Then we have this. Chris Marsalek, CEO of Crypto.com. He says this: some Ethereum transfers generated so much FUD and speculation on Twitter today. We made these over 3 weeks ago on October 21st. Crypto.com's whitelisted corporate account moved ETH from themselves over to Gate.io. Crypto.com then proceeded to withdraw the funds back to its cold wallets over the following days, and the entirety of ETH was successfully withdrawn by Crypto.com and returned to our cold storage. Gate.io confirmed this. So again, we're seeing a bit of an intermingling between exchanges, potentially moving funds between each other. He essentially here is saying we did it by mistake, which is pretty damn crazy. It was supposed to be a move, he says, from an old cold storage to a new cold storage wallet, but was instead sent to a whitelisted Gate.io account by mistake.
Bitcoin, I lost it in a boating accident. Tax that.
So Kobe here, Crypto.com accidentally sent 80% of their cold storage ETH to Gate and then asked for it back. How unprofessional is this? Really crazy times, but this wouldn't be the first time Chris or Crypto.com here have fat-fingered a major withdrawal. They sent a lady $10 million in the USA when she withdrew a small sum of her own personal crypto. She thought she could get away with it, didn't want to pay back the 10 mil, but went to court, and subsequently they did get the funds back. But they do have a track record of some very unprofessional things. So again, not your keys, not your crypto. If you've got funds on there, do ship them off. The funds in question here were 320,000 Ethereum sent on this block here, but the snapshot for the proof of reserves was taken at an earlier block. So assuming that this report is truthful, then the ETH couldn't have been used as a top-up. So this was countering claims here that Crypto.com were actually getting funds from Gate.io or vice versa, just to top up their proof of reserves audits and make people think they're a lot safer than they actually are. Again, no smoke without fire, but this does seem a little bit odd. So with these events unfolding, we're seeing a mass of users move funds away from Huobi Exchange. The Huobi token itself, HT here, now starting to really drop off a cliff. You can see on the daily candle here, down from around $8 to $5.78 as this was posted by Crypto Capo. And then likewise, we're seeing the CRO, the token of Crypto.com, also getting shorted to the ground here. It's also down about 20% on the day right now, with people fearing the worst. As Dylan Leclerc posts, similar to charts we saw for FTX and Celsius tokens before they imploded, this may not be the same thing, but the market is certainly smelling blood out right now and trying to go after it. So shorts piling on onto the CRO token. Again, they may not be leveraging their CRO positions like FTT token was, but if this token price is driven down low enough, this could have deeper implications for customer withdrawals. I do think they top up their yields with the CRO token natively. So a lot of FUD, a lot of speculation here, but potentially, better to be safe than sorry. So another crazy weekend in the books for cryptocurrency. We hope to see things calm down over the next few days, but it seems like the lunatics are running the madhouse. I'll leave you with this, guys. Make sure you subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
So I have to say I'm a little disappointed by your backdrop, because I thought because of that clampdown that you've moved your headquarters from Hong Kong to the Bahamas. Where's the beach?
Cause I'm an island boy, and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just island boy. I'ma just keep that done. I'ma just staring at the sun. I'm just a fool gazing. I'm like, cool, I'm staying. They're like, you wanna be famous? I'm trying to be out the greatest. I'm gonna Florida boy. They got a real damn chocolate on me. I'm an island boy. Put my vest on, yeah, like a walk woman. Tryna make it to the top. I'm an island boy. I've been trying to make it.
I mean, the Wi-Fi is actually not that great in the water, but no. I'm flying around actually visiting a bunch of our offices.